Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a video talking about my experience of my first year at uni. So I thought this would be quite a useful video because it's leading up to moving day. A lot of you might be starting uni this year, some of you might be thinking of going to uni next year, some of you could be going into your second year and just want to see what I thought of my first year. So I thought it was quite a good time to do this video. I'm also going to be including some tips of like how to settle in better and things to like make sure you pack and stuff like that. So hopefully that will be useful to those of you that are going to uni in September. So I have just finished my first year at the University of East Anglia, which is in Norwich. It's kind of like south east, and I am studying geography, so I'm going into my second year in September. I lived in halls of residence for my first year because it's about like an hour and a half away from home for me, so there was no way that I could commute every day. So I lived on campus in my first year, so I'm going to be talking a lot about living by yourself and what changes and making friends and stuff like that. My course is 3 years long, so I'm going into my second year. I'm a third of the way through. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about me, so I will jump into what I wanted to talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to chat to you guys about was moving in day. So I was so scared to move in. Like, I was really excited all summer to go to uni. I was a bit and ahhing towards the end because I started having like second thoughts, like what if I don't make friends, what if I don't get on with any of my flatmates, what if there's no one on my course. But actually course ended up not being an issue because one of my friends from home who I went to secondary school with actually ended up doing the same course at the same uni, so I already had him there. So settling in for me I think wasn't as bad because I had him there and we were both in the same boat. So we introduced each other to people that we met, like to try and help each other out. But yeah, moving in day I was super scared for because I didn't know anyone in my flat who I was going to be living with, and I was in quite a large flat. So the halls that I was in, there was 12 of us all together, which is a lot compared to most unis I think. So I lived in Hickling House, which might not mean anything to some of you, and that's fine. But if you are going to UEA, then yeah, I lived in Hickling, which was really nice. Like the kitchen and like the kitchen area and stuff was so nice. Our bedrooms were nice, but they were like tiny. I think they were the smallest bedrooms out of the whole campus, and you got an ensuite with that as well, which was really small, but it was fine. What UEA does, and a lot of unis I know now do this, is once you get through your accommodation you get added to like a Facebook group, and then through the Facebook groups you can like put on what flat you're in, and then group chats start to form and stuff like that. So I definitely say if you are going to uni in September, go onto Facebook and have a look and see if there is any group chats for first years, and see if you can find out who is in your flat, because once you're added to a chat you already kind of start to get to know people. Like, you're talking about freshers, everyone's really excited, some people are nervous, so it's good to know that everyone's in the same boat. You get to know a bit like where people are from, what courses they're doing, stuff like that. It's weird in some ways because you've not met these people in person, so then you're talking to them online, and then when you do meet them in person you like already know who they are, so it's like weird introducing yourself. But I think that made me feel a bit better because on the chat I was already thinking like, oh, I could see myself being friends with her, or like, yeah, they're really nice. So group chats was definitely a good thing to try and get yourself into if you are going to uni. Then it came to actual move-in day, so I went up there with my mum and my dad. We packed everything in the car, took it all up, and that was like such a weird experience. Like, you're driving up and you don't really think that it's like all of a sudden it's actually real. Like, the build-up happens for so long and then it's there, like you're actually moving in, like this is it. So I moved in all my stuff, and then I went out for dinner with my parents on move-in day, and then we went back to the accommodation and they left, and that was really sad. Like, I as soon as I said bye to them I just wanted to cry. So I made myself go into the kitchen as soon as I got back, and I think that was like the best thing that I could have done because everyone was just in the kitchen socialising. Everyone is in the same boat when you're starting as a fresher. Everyone just wants to make friends, talk to you, like get to know where you're from, like what courses you're doing and stuff like that. So everyone's really chatty, and I'd say like just try and spend a lot of time in the kitchen if you do have a kitchen, or like any kind of social space if you can, because you get to talk to people easier. And also on moving day everyone brought doorstops and like kept their doors open, so I definitely say to bring a doorstop or just something you can hold your door open, because then while you're unpacking and stuff you can have a little chat with people and get to know who's in your room opposite and stuff like that. Then it came to Freshers Week, which honestly was one of the best weeks of my life. I had such a good freshers. I know some people didn't have as good freshers, but I think in my flat, like, all of us pretty much liked going out, so there was a lot of us to go out with. We also made friends with the flat opposite us, both ends opposite us, and a few of them have ended up being my absolute closest friends at uni. So freshers, I would say if your uni does wristbands and stuff, get your wristbands early so then you can go to all the events and you can just pick and choose what you want to go to, because events will sell out. So you want to make sure you have a ticket because you don't want to miss out on events. But also some people might not be interested in like going out and partying, and that's fine as well. There was 3 people in my flat out of the 12 of us that didn't really like going out that much. But then there's other stuff for you to do in the day, like activities, or you could just go on a walk with your flatmates. But even the people that didn't go out, they still sat in the kitchen while we were all preeing, so they still got to know us, which was nice. So yeah, even if you're not big on drinking, still try and socialise and sit in the kitchen. The next thing that I want to say is try and not go home too early after you've started uni. So I saw my family after 2 weeks, and I think that was a bit too soon because I hadn't fully settled at uni yet, and as soon as I saw my family I just cried. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying, because it's not that I'm unhappy at uni, like I'm really enjoying it, but I think, you know, it's just seeing them again. So I'd say try and not see your family if you can, like leave it maybe 3 weeks, I'd say is like a good point to see your friends and family, because by then you've like made like proper friends at uni, you feel settled in, so when you go back it won't seem as scary again. Because I saw my family and stuff so early, I missed out on what was going on that weekend, and that was the second weekend that we were at uni. So then going back again, I felt a little bit like left out, because I was like, oh, they've done this at the weekend and I haven't, so they can talk about that and I can't. I mean, it's up to you, but if I was doing my first year again, I would probably have waited 3 weeks to see my family rather than 2, just so I was a bit more settled. So the next thing I want to talk about is clubs and societies. So during freshers, you'll probably have like a freshers fair, and you'll have one for like clubs and societies and stuff, so you can walk around and sign up to things or just get a bit of information and then sign up online. So for your course, there'll normally be a society like for your course, but you can join a society for a course that you're not doing. So because I'm doing geography, I'm part of the environmental science school, so there was a environmental science society, so I joined that, and all of the people in my course joined that too, so I got to meet a lot of people through that. But there's also other societies, like all the courses, so you've got like law, English, like history, stuff like that. But just because you're doing, say, a law degree, you could still join the history society. So it just depends on what your interests are. And but most people do join the society that runs like with their course. And there's also a lot of clubs at uni. So I signed up to art society, cocktail society, which was so fun. Like if your uni has a cocktail society, I would recommend that. Environmental science society, and then I did dance for my sport. So in freshers, you'll have a lot of different trials for sports and stuff probably. So I definitely say go along to that and maybe try something different, because you might end up really enjoying it, and you might end up making some more friends from that as well that are different to your course or your flat. It's quite nice having different groups to go out with and socialise with, rather than like just having flatmates or just having course mates. It's nice to have a mix. So I went to a free trial for 3 different types of dance, and I decided to join commercial, which I'd never done before, and it was so much fun. I met some really, really nice girls through that as well, and we're all hoping to do it again next year, or I'm thinking of trying cheerleading next year, which I know is like really American, but I think it sounds so fun. And I'm thinking of joining like netball or something like that as well. They've got so many teams at uni, you don't need to be amazing at it. If you are, good for you, but I am shocking at sport, so I'm like right at the bottom of like not even in a team probably, but no one cares at uni, it's just a bit fun. Next thing I was going to talk about was the money situation. A lot of people don't handle their money that well at uni, and it can be really difficult to handle your money well. I feel like there's an overdraft for a reason, a lot of people think. I didn't end up going into my overdraft, but a lot of my friends did. If you stick to like, you're only allowed to spend like this amount a week. If you work it out how many weeks you're in that semester for, with your loan, whether you get a loan, whether you don't, however much money you have, just stick to a budget. Aldi is your best friend. Aldi has been a saviour. I feel like that's where I've saved a lot of my money. You can literally spend £10 a week in Aldi for food if you proper strip it down. I mean, I was literally living off cornflakes, but it's worth it. I decided I'd rather like spend my money on nights out and stuff like that rather than food, but some people do it the other way around. So I would try and spend around £20 to £25 for 2 weeks. I would do my shopping in like 2-week blocks rather than weekly. And in summer I would walk to Aldi if the weather was all right, and then if the weather was a bit crap, you know, like December, January, February kind of time, I would get Asda delivery, because that was like the nearest supermarket to us, and I think you only had to pay like £1 delivery compared to like Tesco and stuff. It's a bit more to pay for delivery, and Asda's pretty cheap as well. Like I literally just got Asda basic stuff or Aldi basic stuff, and £20 for 2 weeks was normally enough, unless I was buying alcohol, then I'd need a little bit more. And also pre a lot at uni. If you are into going out and clubbing and stuff, then you save a lot of money by preing in your flat, and prees are also so fun, like play some drinking games, get to know people a bit better. I was going to talk a little bit about my course, but I feel like this video is already quite long, so I might leave that for another video if anyone is interested in my course. So I'm doing geography, and so if you've got any questions about that, like level of difficulty, if it was similar to A-level or not, then leave some comments down below and I'll definitely talk about that. But I thought there's no point putting it into this video now if it's already so long and some of you might not be interested in the course that I'm doing at all, which is absolutely fine. But the last thing that I did want to talk about is living away from home. So biggest jump about uni, I think, and I think a lot of people who did live away from home will agree with me, is living by yourself is so different to living at home. And I found that really hard to adjust to. You've got to do your own food shopping, you've got to do your own cooking, your own washing, your own cleaning, like literally everything. And it's quite strange, like if you've never done that before, going into that, like it's literally like head first, like jumping in the deep end. You got to do everything. But again, everyone is in the same boat. I think you just got to remember, you can always phone your family if you're missing them. I was texting my mum so much in freshers, asking like, how do I wash my clothes, and like, how long shall I put this in the microwave for, and stuff like that, because I literally knew nothing. So yeah, it's hard living by yourself. I really enjoyed the independence side of it. It took me a while to adjust to, but once I got into it, I was like, you know, I like being able to go where I want to go and not have to ask if I can go there, and not having people ask like, when are you going to be home and stuff like that. That side of it I really like. But it does get a bit lonely sometimes. If a lot of the people in your flat have decided to go home one weekend and you're still there, then it can get a little bit lonely. But that's when things like clubs and societies like come in real handy, because then you've got other mates outside of the flat that you can go and see and go and meet up with and stuff. So what I'm basically trying to say is, living on your own can be scary, and at first it will seem daunting, but stick with it. Don't give up. Like if you're finding it really hard after the first 3 weeks, don't drop out of uni and go home. Stick with it, because I promise you, like 90% of the time it probably will get better, as long as you're putting yourself out there and you're making an effort with people as well. Try not to like just eat dinner in your room and stuff. Like try and sit in the kitchen and talk to people. Yeah, so I think that just about rounds everything up. I feel like I'm forgetting some bits, but I'll see when I edit this. Hopefully I haven't. So hopefully you enjoyed hearing about my first year experience at uni. So I did really enjoy it overall, and yeah, I'm excited to move into a house tomorrow. I should be moving in and starting my second year. So if you are going to uni in September, I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions, then feel free to comment down below. And I'll also leave my Instagram below if you wanted to like DM any questions. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.